The cold metal of Kepler 452b's surface pressed against Hye-jin Kim's failing armor. Tiny fractures spread across her exoskeleton like spider webs, each crack signaling imminent system collapse. Her species, the Kalarian travelers, had never anticipated such a brutal encounter. Jae-sung Park moved silently across the rocky terrain, his reconnaissance gear blending perfectly with the moon's gray landscape. His thermal scanner picked up a faint heat signature. Something was alive amid the destruction. The research outpost around him looked like a graveyard of twisted metal and shattered communications equipment. She was bleeding, not in the way humans understood bleeding, but in a complex biochemical process that leaked luminescent blue fluid through her armor's damaged sections. Her breathing came in sharp, irregular gasps. Each breath was a battle against her suit's failing life support. Systems Jae-sung approached carefully. His military training screamed caution, but something in her posture suggested vulnerability rather than threat. She was a warrior, clearly. Her armor was military grade, unlike anything Earth's technology had ever encountered. But now she looked more like a wounded animal than a fearsome alien soldier. Her eyes, large, iridescent, with 3 distinct pupils, tracked his movement. Fear mixed with determination. She knew her chances of survival were minimal. The Kalarian. Communication systems were destroyed. Her squadron was gone. She was alone. "Don't," she whispered in broken human language. "Don't come closer." But Jae-sung continued. His hands moved slowly, showing no weapons, demonstrating peaceful intention. He had seen enough conflict to recognize the difference between a threat and a survivor. The moon's low gravity made movement strange. Each step felt like floating, each gesture exaggerated. Dust particles danced around his boots, creating small clouds that quickly settled in the airless environment. Hye-jin's armor began to emit warning signals. Mechanical clicks and electronic chirps announced imminent system failure. Her internal temperature was dropping. Survival protocols were shutting down one by one. Jae-sung knelt beside her. Up close, he could see the intricate design of her armor. Nothing like human technology. Microscopic circuits ran like veins across its surface. Complex mathematical equations seemed embedded in its very structure. "Can you understand me?" he asked, knowing communication might be impossible. To his surprise, she responded. Not in words, but in a series of clicks and low-frequency vibrations that his suit's communication system barely registered. The research outpost around them told a story of violent conflict. Burned equipment, shattered communication arrays. Evidence of a battle that had happened moments before his arrival. Something had attacked this position, something powerful enough to destroy an entire alien research station. Hye-jin's breathing became more labored. Her 3 pupilled eyes started to lose focus. She was dying, and they both knew it. Jae-sung's hand moved towards his medical kit. Standard Earth military protocol would suggest leaving her. She was an unknown alien entity, potentially dangerous. But something in her eyes spoke of intelligence, of a complex consciousness fighting for survival. A small device on her armor began blinking, a distress signal perhaps, or a final message to whoever might find her. The moon's silence was absolute. No wind, no sounds, just the mechanical breathing of Jae-sung's suit and the failing systems of Hye-jin's armor. Her hand moved slightly, a gesture that might have been surrender, or perhaps a final attempt to communicate. Jae-sung couldn't tell. In that moment, surrounded by the wreckage of an unknown conflict, a human and an alien faced each other, one fighting to live, one deciding whether to help. The story of first contact would be written in this moment, not through grand speeches or massive technological displays, but in a simple choice between intervention and abandonment. Jae-sung's hand reached for his medical kit. The medical kit opened with a soft hiss. Inside, carefully organized modules glowed with advanced technology, each designed to adapt to various biological systems. Jae-sung's training had prepared him for emergency interventions, but nothing like this alien physiology. Hye-jin watched him with her 3 pupilled eyes. Her breathing came in short, painful gasps. Her blue blood continued to leak, creating small crystalline droplets that froze instantly in the moon's cold environment. Jae-sung first checked her vital signs. His scanner struggled to interpret the alien readings. Her body temperature, heart rate, oxygen absorption. Everything was completely different from human biological standards. Standard medical protocols would be useless. He activated the adaptive medical interface. Tiny nanobots within his medical kit began analyzing her biochemical structure. They moved like liquid metal, scanning every damaged section of her armor and body. "This might hurt," he whispered, knowing she might not understand human language. The first intervention was removing her damaged armor. Unlike human protective gear, her exoskeleton was almost alive, integrated with her biological systems. Each section seemed to resist removal, protecting its host like a living organism. Specialized cutting tools from his kit began carefully separating armor sections. Each cut required precision. One wrong move could cause fatal damage. Her breathing became more irregular as the process continued. Strange symbols flickered across her armor's surface. Mathematical equations, communication codes, biological data, all mixed in a complex language Jae-sung couldn't comprehend. The armor seemed to be more than protection. It was a complete life support system. As the final section of armor was removed, her true form became visible. Blue skin with slight metallic shimmer. Intricate biological patterns that looked like living circuits running beneath her skin. Respiratory organs that looked nothing like human lungs, more like complex filtering mechanisms. The nanobots in Jae-sung's medical kit began their work. They entered her bloodstream, repairing damaged cellular structures. They rebuilt broken connections, stabilized critical systems, and started translating her biological language. Hee-jin's body tensed. Her survival mechanisms were fighting against these foreign healing agents. But slowly, her systems began to recognize the nanobots as help rather than threat. Her breathing changed, became more regular. The painful gasps transformed into controlled respiratory cycles. Jae-sung monitored everything carefully. Each second was critical. One miscalculation could mean her death. The medical interface continued collecting data, learning her biological structure with each passing moment. Strange sounds emerged from her. Not words, not communication. Something between a mechanical hum and biological vibration. Her body was communicating, telling her healing systems how to interact with these foreign medical agents. The moon's environment remained silent. Dust particles drifted slowly. Destroyed research equipment surrounded them like silent witnesses to this unexpected medical intervention. Hours passed, or what seemed like hours. Time moved differently in this low-gravity environment. The nanobots continued their precise work, rebuilding, reconstructing, healing. Slowly, color returned to Hee-jin's skin. The dangerous blue-gray tone transformed into a more vibrant blue. Her breathing became steady. Her three pupilled eyes started showing signs of consciousness. Jae-sung realized he was witnessing something unprecedented, not just medical intervention, but the first true biological communication between human technology and alien life. The medical interface began producing a translation, fragmented, incomplete, but something was emerging. Biological data was transforming into potential communication. Hee-jin's hand moved. Slightly, purposefully, she was stabilizing, surviving, and everything was about to change. The medical tent buzzed with quiet technology. Hee-jin's recovery unit hummed soft electronic rhythms. Jae-sung sat nearby, watching her carefully. Her three pupilled eyes slowly opened. Unlike before, they seemed more curious than afraid. The healing nanobots had done more than repair her body. They had created a strange biological connection. "Water," she whispered in broken human language. Jae-sung passed her a specialized container. Her hands, different from human hands with 6 slender fingers, carefully took the container. Each movement was calculated, precise. "Your medical technology," she said. "It is different." Jae-sung explained how human medical science had evolved, not just through warfare, but through humanitarian missions. How humans had developed technologies to heal not just themselves, but other species across different star systems. She listened, intently, Her species had always believed humans were simple warriors, brutal, destructive. But these stories challenged everything she knew. He told her about medical missions in war-torn regions on Earth, how doctors would cross dangerous territories to help people, how scientists worked to create vaccines for diseases affecting millions, how human technology was often more about saving life than destroying it. Hyejin's translation device converted his words, helping her understand nuanced human concepts: compassion, empathy, cooperation. Our intelligence reports, she said slowly, told us humans only know destruction. Jae-sung smiled. Humans are complex, he explained. We can destroy, but we can also rebuild, heal, create. He showed her images: hospitals in remote areas, scientific research stations, medical teams working in extreme conditions, technological innovations designed to solve global challenges. Her 3 pupils dilated, a sign of processing complex information. The more she learned, the more her understanding shifted. Jae-sung's team occasionally entered, bringing additional medical supplies. Each interaction was carefully monitored. They treated her not as a prisoner, but as a patient, as a potential ally. She learned about human diversity, how one species could contain thousands of cultures, how humans had overcome their own conflicts to create global cooperation, how technology was used to solve problems, not just create weapons. The medical tent became a classroom, a place of cultural exchange. Each story challenged her previous understanding. Your people fight each other, she observed, but you also help each other. Jae-sung nodded. Conflict is part of our history, but so is healing, so is understanding. Her body continued healing. The nanobots worked silently, repairing damaged cellular structures, creating bridges between her alien biology and human medical technology. Outside the tent, the moon's landscape remained unchanged, silent, cold. But inside, something significant was happening. 2 different species were learning about each other. Hyejin's breathing became more regular. Her body adapted to the human medical environment. The fear in her eyes slowly transformed into something else: curiosity, understanding. We were wrong about humans, she said finally. Jae-sung simply smiled. No victory dance, no dramatic speech, just quiet understanding. The medical interface continued collecting data, recording this unprecedented interaction. Each moment was a potential breakthrough in interstellar communication. Her species would receive these reports. They would see that humans were not just warriors. They were problem solvers, healers, creators. As night fell on the distant moon, 2 beings from different worlds shared something rare. Not just medical technology, not just survival, but the beginning of understanding. The cultural revelation had begun. The communication room hummed with soft electronic signals. Hyejin sat connected to a translation device, her body now fully recovered. Her mission, originally planned as a reconnaissance to destroy human settlements, had transformed into something entirely different. Jae-sung watched her carefully. She was preparing to transmit a message that would change everything her species believed about humans. Her fingers moved across the communication panel. Complex mathematical equations translated her thoughts into precise language. Each symbol represented more than words. They were cultural knowledge, scientific understanding, emotional complexity. My leaders believe humans are simple, she said. They think you only know destruction. Jae-sung understood the weight of her statement. Centuries of misunderstanding were about to be challenged by a single transmission. The room's technology surrounded them: advanced scanning equipment, communication, arrays, holographic displays showing star maps and complex biological data. Everything spoke of human technological capability, not just for war but for understanding. She began sharing her discoveries: how human medical technology could adapt to alien physiologies, how humans solved problems through cooperation, how their technological innovations went beyond military applications. Her 3 pupilled eyes scanned multiple holographic screens simultaneously. She was processing information faster than any human could. The nanobots in her system had created a biological bridge between her alien intelligence and human technological understanding. "We thought humans were warriors," she explained. "But you are problem solvers." Jae-sung showed her research projects, environmental restoration technologies, medical innovations that could heal multiple species, technological solutions for global challenges. Her communication device translated everything. Each piece of information challenged her species' fundamental understanding of human potential. Outside the research station, the moon's landscape remained unchanged, silent, cold, but inside, a transformation was happening. Not just of an individual, but potentially of entire civilizations. She began recording her findings, detailed reports about human adaptability, how they could transform conflict into cooperation, how their technological innovations were driven by a desire to understand, not just conquer. The communication panel recorded everything. Each transmission was a potential bridge between species, each word a possibility of preventing a potential interstellar conflict. Jae-sung's team worked quietly around them. Some monitored communication signals, others analyzed biological data. Everything was precise, controlled. Hyejin's body had changed. No longer just a warrior, now a potential ambassador. Her biological systems had integrated human medical technology in ways her species had never imagined possible. "My people will not understand immediately," she said. Jae-sung nodded. "Cultural transformation takes time. Understanding requires patience." The communication transmission continued. Complex data flows, biological information, technological insights, cultural revelations. Her fingers moved faster. Mathematical equations transformed into communication signals, each symbol a potential key to understanding. The research station's systems processed her transmission, filtering, analyzing, translating. Something fundamental was happening, not just communication, but the potential for a new kind of interstellar relationship. Her three-pupiled eyes reflected determination. No longer a warrior seeking destruction, now a bridge between civilizations. The transmission continued, soft electronic signals carrying the potential to change everything. Transformation was not just happening to her, but to the understanding between two different species. The moon remained silent, but something significant was emerging, a new possibility, a new understanding. The communication center buzzed with nervous energy. Hyejin's transmission had reached her home planet, Kalarian Prime. Massive communication towers received her unexpected message. Kalarian leadership gathered in their central council chamber. Dark metal walls surrounded holographic displays showing Hyejin's recorded message. Her three-pupiled image flickered, presenting humanity's true nature. "Our intelligence was wrong," her recorded message stated. "Humans are not destroyers. They are creators." Planetary leaders watched in shocked silence. Centuries of prepared invasion plans suddenly seemed pointless. Her transmission included detailed medical records, technological insights, and evidence of human cooperative capabilities. Jae-sung stood nearby, monitoring the communication signals. His hands remained steady. Years of military training had prepared him for potential conflict, but this moment required something different. Patience. Kalarian communication protocols demanded immediate response. Their military systems began processing her transmission. Complex algorithms analyzed every single data point. Hours passed. The moon's environment remained unchanged. Dust particles drifted silently across rocky landscapes. Inside the research station, tension built with each passing moment. Suddenly, communication signals erupted. The Kalarian leadership's response arrived, not with weapons but with questions. Thousands of intricate queries about human technology, medical capabilities, and cultural systems. Hyejin's translation device worked overtime, converting complex alien language into understandable human communication, each word a potential bridge between civilizations. "They want to understand," she whispered to Jae-sung. "Not attack." Her transformation was complete. From potential invasion specialist to unexpected diplomatic bridge. The research station's communication systems recorded everything, detailed logs of an unprecedented first contact scenario, not through military engagement, but through unexpected medical intervention and cultural understanding. Kalarian leadership requested a diplomatic meeting. They wanted to understand how a potential enemy had become a potential ally, how medical technology and compassion could transform potential conflict. Jae-sung's team prepared diplomatic protocols, standard human procedures for first contact scenarios. But this was different. This was not a planned encounter, but an unexpected connection. Hyejin's biological systems, now partially integrated with human medical technology, represented something revolutionary. A living proof of potential interspecies cooperation, communication signals continued. Mathematical equations transformed into diplomatic language. Cultural barriers slowly dissolved. The Kalarian leadership's final message arrived with unexpected warmth. "We want to learn," their transmission stated, "not conquer." Hyejin looked at Jae-sung. Her three pupils reflected a mixture of emotions: relief, excitement, slight fear. "A new beginning," she said softly. Outside, the moon remained silent, but something significant had happened. A potential interstellar conflict had been transformed into a potential alliance. Human technological adaptability, Kalarian biological complexity, two different systems finding common ground. The communication center continued processing signals, each transmission a potential step towards understanding. Jae-sung smiled, not a victory smile, but a smile of potential, of possibility. The first real bridge between two different civilizations had been created, not through weapons, not through conflict, but through unexpected compassion, through the simple human ability to help an injured stranger. A new alliance had begun, on a silent moon, far from both their home worlds.